Hi there guys, Ken here, your thrifty apprentice, and in this video I'm going to be painting a holly with you all. It's time to start working on Christmas cards. Decided I'll do a holly as the front of my Christmas card. After I finish the painting, I'm probably going to run down to my local Office Max and have it scanned in and turned into a JPEG, and I'll use that to reproduce my Christmas cards for this year. Showing you what we're going to be using in this video, I have a piece of 100% cotton cold press B paper. B is a really decent, affordable cotton paper, and I've been able to get mine from Amazon. I went ahead and traced my holly on top there with the compressed pencil that I received in that gift box the other day. I want to start trying it out. Pretty fun pencil. We're going to be using the 36 count of Master's Touch semi-moist watercolor cakes, which of course I'm only going to be using 6 colors of this set, but this is what we will be using. This is actually the last field test before I do the review on these, so you guys do stay tuned for that. And I've already pulled the colors I'm going to be using out of here, so I don't need the whole palette. Brushes, I'm using mostly Royal and Langnickel Menta brushes. I got a half, flat angle, a 3/4 flat, and I'm using a #1 fine liner. It's got long bristles on it. But you can use whatever brushes you have. It's no big deal. And then I'm also using this #6 round Grumbacher Academy brush, which happens to be one of my favorite brushes. It's synthetic, more like a Teclon. Has the white head on it, but a great brush nonetheless. So that's what we're going to be doing, guys. Let's go ahead and get set up here. Turn it up the right way. Alright guys, we're going to start out by completely wetting the background. I'm just going to use that 3/4 Mental brush we spoke about earlier in the video, and completely wet the background. And then I'm grabbing some lemon yellow and going to add water to it, get it really watery, and I'm going to base in the entire painting. I'm just trying to add some color to the background. Don't want it to be like stark white. With the composition that we're going to be painting. 6 colors that I pulled out of the Master's Touch 36 semi-moist watercolor cake set was lemon yellow. I believe this is vermilion and a crimson red, peak green, ultramarine blue, as well as a burnt sienna. And I'm just going to use those 6 colors in order to paint in this picture of a holly, which I told you guys is going to be the front of my Christmas card. I don't have time at this late in the game and this close to Christmas to paint individual Christmas cards for everybody, so I decided I would do one painting and use that and just reproduce it. So here I'm taking a light wash mixture of the peak green, and then I actually mix the lemon yellow and the ultramarine together in order to get this shade of green. We're going to paint in the holly leaves, and then I'm grabbing a cut up credit card and scraping in the vein that goes down the center, and that will go out to the edge of each of those leaves. As I do that, I am kind of rounding off each of those veins, kind of giving some that way it'll give dimension, should I say, to the leaves as they are starting to dry. So I'm going to go ahead and do all 3 of those the same way. And this is the last time you guys are going to see me using this particular paint before I offer the review. I think at this point I've gone and done enough with it, enough mixed media, enough individual paintings, and I've just kind of used them here and there for quite a while. And I think I'm about ready to offer you guys my review on it, so you should stay tuned for that coming up very soon on the channel. At this point, we let the first layer dry, so I felt like it needed some deeper saturation of color. So this is where I took that mixture and added the peak green, which was a pre-mixed color already in the set, to the mixture of the lemon yellow and ultramarine blue that I originally based the leaves in with. This gave me a deeper, darker, more saturated green leafy color. So I'm going to be using that to go in and, you know, add as a secondary color into each of the leaves. Now, I don't cover the entire leaf. I do let some of that original green peek through. And to prevent from having hard lines, you're going to see me go back in with a wet brush in order to just soften the lines around the transition. You'll also see me take the credit card and actually etch in the shape of the leaf. I've started to do that a lot when it comes to painting flowers and leaves. I kind of fancy it, should I say. It, I think it gives like this three-dimension aspect to the painting and helps it look more realistic. I really like what it does to the compositions. So this is where I'm actually softening the transition lines as I was telling you guys about. Um, I should go ahead and mention to you guys that I was trying to give it a little bit more time for the core watercolor sample card um, giveaway that we were doing, but I will be making the announcement for the winners of those core watercolor sample cards on the next video that is released. So it should be for this next Sketchbook Sunday coming up. So you guys will get to hear those winners, and I'll be reaching out to the winners in order to get addresses so that I can get those watercolor sample cards in the mail for you. And I really appreciate you guys taking time to follow me and to watch the things that I do. I hope that some of the just something, anything that I'm doing is able to help you or able to help you grow, or if you're just enjoying watching it because it's relaxing, even if you mute it and just watch it, you know, whatever, just the fact that you're supporting, I really, really appreciate it. I'm up to over 600 subscribers at this point, and I'm just a little amazed. I'm like, wow. So, you know, there's 600 people out there that actually at some point have liked something that I've done. That's pretty amazing to me, and I'm very humbled by that. Thank you guys so much for following and for loving and caring. So I've gone ahead and based in the berries on the holly spread here. So the branch is being done with a mixture of the burnt sienna and the darker end of shadow for that particular branch part is a mixture of the burnt sienna and the ultramarine. The berries themselves were based in first with the vermilion. I think that's vermilion. I believe that's vermilion. I'm gonna have to go check in just a moment. And the shadow color is being done with the crimson. So I did remember to leave a little highlight for each berry. And I tried to make sure that all of the highlights are kind of going in the same direction or pointing in the same direction so it would look like the right source was coming from one way instead of from all over the place. As the leaves dried with that secondary color in it, I really did like the depth that it added. But I've noticed something about these paints. There is a color shift, especially in some of the weaker colors. And the color shift can be pretty big. This is actually B paper that I'm doing this on, so it's a cotton paper. I really wasn't expecting it to shift so much because I don't think it shifted as much in other paintings, or maybe because I was doing mixed media, I really didn't pay attention to the shift so much. But now that I'm actually looking back at this, and of course this is a voiceover for this video, I'm noticing that after the the paints here dry, there's a bit of a color shift. But you know, we'll talk more about that in the review video. I'm going to start working on it right away, actually. And here you'll see that I'm actually taking a little of that ultramarine blue and kind of mixing it in around the part where each of those berries would be touching. That way I could kind of add some shadowing in between each of them to give them some separation, more of a 3D feel, some more of roundness, should I say? Yeah, give them more roundness. And I did go back and check. So those two reds that I'm using, the more orangey one is actually crimson in this set, and the cooler one is carmine. So yeah, I think I was calling that vermilion earlier in the video. So that's actually crimson that I'm calling vermilion, that I was calling vermilion. And what I was calling crimson is actually carmine. So I did go back and check that. Just wanted to correct that just in case you guys are using that 36 semi-moist watercolor set from Hobby Lobby by Master's Touch, which I hadn't seen many reviews on it or seen too many people using it. So you'll notice here I'm going back in with a much deeper green in order to base in again on top of the leaf. After it dried, I just really did not like the color shift. I wasn't happy with the color, so I did mix more lemon yellow, ultramarine blue, and peak green. More ultramarine blue in the mixture this time than anything, which again enhanced the value of the green, giving me more rich color. And this time I'm doing it pretty much the same way. I'm basing it in, making sure to leave little peaks of the color underneath, and just using a really wet brush with no pigment on it to spread the color out in the middle of the leaf so that there wouldn't be any hard transition lines. After that dried, looked pretty good to me, so I decided I wanted to do a little bit more with the background. And of course, it's splatter time, so I'm taking all of the colors that I used in the composition, the crimson, the carmine, that mixture that went on the leaf, ultramarine blue, and some burnt sienna. And you know, you see it. I'm just splashing it all in the background, and make sure to remove it from off top of the holly picture, the leaf, the painting. That's what I'm trying to say itself. So after that dried, everything was said and done, I did go ahead and grab my KingArt Pro colored pencils in order to punch up the color a little bit and add some definition. And yeah, using 2 or 3 greens in order to enhance the leaves themselves. I'm going to take the darker of those greens that I chose in order to, you know, enhance the veining and let that jump out a little bit more. I'm actually using a purple because there's not a real indigo in this particular set. That's like dark purple that I'm using in order to add the darkest dark of the shadows on there. And then of course, ultimately, I think I'm going to use gouache in order to add the highlights. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's my Christmas card. I'm gonna grab me a Merry Christmas stamp and ink it up, stamp it on the front of it, and I'm gonna take it on over to the Office Max and yeah, have them scan it in, make it a JPEG, and I'm gonna print it on some cards and send them off. That's my Christmas card for this year. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed something that you saw. If you did, don't forget to give the video a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe, like, comment, and please share because sharing is caring. Head on over to the Thrifty Apprentice Facebook page and like us there. Check us out at the Thrifty Apprentice on Instagram. Don't hesitate to share your work. I would love to see it. The community would love to see it. Yeah, guys, and remember, as I tell you at the end of every single video, just keep painting.